couple days?
I mean, the last couple of days have been really comfortable. We've had low humidity, 50s and 60s. That is not the case this morning. And unfortunately, that is the end of the comfortable feel because we're going to keep the high heat and humidity through the weekend, and actually it ramps up even more into early next week. 72 currently in Knoxville. We're in the low 70s in Dandridge, Newport, Oak Ridge as well. There are a few 60s around, mainly across the plateau and in southeast Kentucky. Humidity levels are elevated, a muggy to sticky feel, manageable, like we saw yesterday, but this afternoon expect more of a tropical feel that will eventually lead to a couple of thunderstorms. Note the increasing chances for rain this afternoon, but notice how the higher opportunities really come into play through this evening. For a lot of us, today is going to be a fairly dry day. It really is this evening and early nighttime hours when the chance for rain will really ramp up across the region. I'm expecting the peak of the coverage to arrive closer to sunset, so there are going to be several hours where we're able to get outside and enjoy some dry conditions. Now, everyone will stay dry for the morning, but then into the afternoon, we'll start to see a couple of thunderstorms develop, first over the higher elevations. You can see at 4 o'clock, there's not many storms around. Look what happens though. 8 o'clock here, we see additional development of scattered showers and storms. That continues as we head through the late nighttime hours and into the early morning hours of Friday. So still expect some scattered showers and storms to be around late tonight until we dry out as we get out the door first thing tomorrow morning. So we will watch for a low-end risk of an isolated stronger storm, low threat for damaging winds and locally heavy rainfall. Level 1 out of 5 severe threat in place for generally areas Knoxville to the northeast, but really we'll watch all the storms this afternoon for a low damaging wind threat and a low isolated spot of some flooding. For most of us, these are just your run-of-the-mill showers and storms, and in the end, not everyone sees rain. Again, only expecting scattered coverage. For today, we top out in the 80s, but when you factor in the humidity, it's really going to feel like the mid and upper 90s. It will be a warm and humid day with a chance for a few storms into this evening. Tomorrow, back in the 80s, once again, it will feel like the 90s, and we will see a couple more storms, especially during the afternoon and evening. Some spotty coverage overall. For the weekend, we clear out rain chances. We'll enjoy a lot of sunshine, and it will be hot and humid. I think Sunday ends up being the stickier day compared to Saturday, but still, heat index values will be well up into the mid and upper 90s. And we have a building area of high pressure that we get to look forward to for early next week. It'll really be in place across the region for Monday, and that will stick around through at least the middle of next week. That's going to help crank up the heat and humidity, but also help lower storm chances. In fact, it looks dry starting this weekend and continuing into next week. Temperatures will be climbing. Each day we get back into the 90s, which is above average, but the humidity will make a difference. Heat index values will be peaking in the upper 90s to low 100s. So some triple-digit heat index values are anticipated for some early next week as that core of the heat, that area of high pressure, really builds across the area. We will see some storms mainly this evening into the early nighttime hours. So today is not a washout. It will be a warm and humid day. A few more storms during the afternoon and evening tomorrow, but then through the weekend it will be drier and we start to slowly crank up temperatures and humidity levels.